bring a classic lash set to life that has the subtlest yet such an impactful finish. So how I'm going to do that today is by working with my longer lengths on the bottom layer and my shorter lengths on the top layer. So we're creating very, very subtle texture. So what I'm going to do today, shaping wise, is work with a kitten mapping, because Emily's eye shape is so rounded in the middle and then it does descend a little bit on the outer corner, but a cat eye mapping would look absolutely stunning on her. So kitten mapping is like the perfect balance for any client that has open, rounded eyes in the middle and then a descending outer corner, which she does have. So we're gonna create a kitten mapping and it's gonna look very cat eye, but very soft. So I did say I wanna work with the arch of the brow, so I'm just gonna mark out my sections. So I want my longest lengths to go about here to here. That's my emphasis area. Now I want it to look the same on both eyes, so I am going to come around the other side, and so I'm just putting a dot where the eye starts to descend and where I want my section to end. And now I need to figure out if it's accurate and identical on both sides. So ignore this little tiny mark right here. I decided to extend it a little bit further. And if you look closely at Emily's lashes, she does have quite downturned lashes on the outer corner and then upturned lashes in about the middle. So I need to be very careful, because if I use the same curl across the entire eye, the outer corner is going to descend even further and the middle is going to lift even more. And if I want emphasis to be drawn toward the outer corner and that arch of the brow, then I need to have the outer corner lashes stand up toward that brow instead of pointing down, and I need the lashes in the middle of the eye to just softly stand as they do naturally. I don't want to lift those at all to be more towards the eyebrow. I just want them to look swept, very, very soft, subtle, roll with the arch of the eye, not changing anything. Here is where I need to change some stuff up in order to make that stand out. So how I'm going to do that is work with a D curl just right here where my emphasis area is. Same with over here. And then the rest is going to be a C curl, and on that inner corner, I might even roll with a B curl, but I will put the mapping at the end of this video to let you know. But mixing curls when working with a kitten shaping is so lovely, because we often do want, or we always want, the emphasis area to stand out more. So we need to work with our heaviest curl in that area and just relaxed curls elsewhere. Now, focusing on that outer corner here, if I am directing these lashes out a little bit, I have to slowly transition my direction up on the outer corners, because if I extend out, so up meaning towards the brow, because if I extend out towards the ear or towards the outer part of the eyebrow, then I'm going to droop that corner, which I don't want to do. I want to lift that up towards the eyebrow. So direction is going to be very, very important. And quickly noting that Emily does have quite a few rogue lashes on the top layer. So how I'm going to work around that is I'm going to start at the bottom layer and I'm going to work my way up through the layers, and I'm going to leave those rogue lashes unlashed because they will look less neat and tidy than the rest of the lashes. And she has quite a few along that top layer. I want to avoid those. So I'm definitely going to do that top layer last and make sure that those lashes do not get lashed, because what happens is they're going to look longer than the rest of the lashes, and on top of that, they're also going to kind of flip-flop all over the place because they don't have the other lashes surrounding them to hold them into place. So just leave them, move on. And then on top of that, just to be extra strategic, I'm going to start on my bottom layer, is going to be my longer lengths, and then my top layer, as I work through the layers, they're going to get shorter and shorter. So my length is going to come from the bottom layer, not the top layer, and that's going to keep the set looking nice and clean. I'm working with Lost Artistry standard gel pads today, and I do have my glue ring ready to go. So I'm just going to show you how I start my service. I've got lash bath. I always start by cleansing the lashes first and around the eyes, because I want to make sure I get really good connection and retention. Don't make the mistake that I just did, and I put my markings on first because I was excited, and then I just washed them away, so I'm gonna have to redo that. So good learning together. that's how easy it is to get rid of your markings. Actually, it might not be a bad thing that I accidentally put my markings on before cleansing, because we get a lot of questions. People get really intense. They're like, how do you get the markings off? But it's actually that easy. Just take a little micro swab so you don't have to cleanse the lashes unless you want to after the service, and just literally clean them away. There's still a little tiny dot. That's perfect. So I don't even have to redo it. And you do have to clean these brushes between every service, but they are reusable. Just disinfect them, just like you would makeup brushes. Nice. And I managed to keep a little bit of the markings there, so I don't actually have to go back in. But make sure you get all that cleanser off, because if the cleanser is stuck to the lash line, your retention is not going to be as amazing. Some more water. Cleansing is a step that unfortunately some artists choose to skip, and in my personal opinion and experience, it's a step that should never be skipped, and it really helps create that magnetic-like bond and prevents the lashes from falling off as you're brushing through the lashes, and will help them last so much longer between fills. Always set up before you put your glue in your ring. Pads should sit under the waterline without going into the eye. And there is an art to placing the eye pads. If you want to watch a video, here is one. Click it, open it in another tab, and check it out after this video. Okay, now I'm going to transfer my mapping from my client's eye into the pad. I like to use a Sharpie for this. So glad that I kept a little bit of those markings. When I'm drawing my mapping on the pad, I want to not forget direction, because direction is so important, especially when you're looking to keep your set clean and beautiful. So I'm using my markings and I'm transferring them right onto the iPad. Try not to put it in the lashes, instead put it above, because it does get kind of confusing when there's black on black. So keep the contrast down here. You're gonna need it for isolation. Okay, remember when I chatted earlier about your direction? So the outer corner, we're gonna direct up. Now I need this direction to be kind of like out, just a touch. But if I direct this area out and this area up, and I don't like slowly transition from this direction to this direction, lash by lash, it's gonna be really quite messy looking. So I wanna make sure that I'm slowly meeting my directions. Changing the direction to meet one another, see? Just slightly, so you're gonna do this just gradually, lash to lash. And same with this area. So if I'm doing direction to out, and I slowly wanna transition to up, I'm gonna slowly work my way through. Gonna just gradually go and then up. And I'm not putting lashes in here, but I know I have to gradually turn up. Even this one is maybe a little too angled up, but we'll work through. Like, there's obviously only so many arrows, and there's tons more lashes to work with. But I'll do that again on this side to see if I can do it even better. Does not matter what your map looks like, as long as you know what the heck is going on, then that's all that matters. But you can see how it's more gradual on this side? So we're going out, but we're also going up everywhere else. Really important to focus on direction. So I'm gonna work, she does have quite a few layers. She has about 4 layers. On my bottom 2 layers are gonna be this mapping. So 2 layer. I'm gonna put a 2 right here. And then my bottom top layer is gonna be this, and I might just leave the very top layer depending on how sporadic it is, or I might lash it with the same length, but I just wanna make sure that I keep my set looking pretty clean. So we will see. Again, I'll put this in the mapping at the end of the video. I think what's gonna end up happening in this area is I might end up going for 14 here as well. The reason why is because the eye starts to quickly descend here. So if I know I'm working with C curl and then I jump to D, sometimes you have to jump up a length. So I have to keep an eye on this. I'm gonna put a little star right here for myself to remember, oh, there's something going on here. Your mapping, again, can be whatever you want. It's for you to remember that. So when you switch from C curl to D curl, sometimes when you work with a really curly lash, it can look shorter than a straight lash. So in order to transition nicely between a C and a D, or a C and a CC, whatever, if you notice that it just looks a little detached, you can transition between them. So I can go like 12C, 13D, 12C, 13D until I transition through. But it still might be a good idea to mix some of 1 millimeter longer in that section, just so the lengths do match nicely, because the more curly, the shorter it looks. So that's just a little hack of mine that I use quite often. So I am gonna put the 13 and 14, and I likely will do that in that section where I mix them all together. I'm gonna do the same over here. I just wanna show you that like, it's really, like, you are the artist and it's really up to you what you choose to do.